Peer resource is a place where we help our community. We help mentor people.
I would say peer resources is a community engagement class. It's really cool because you get to go into other classrooms and do presentations about various projects like drug abuse, LGBTQ info, talk about like almost any and everything.
Peer resources is a place where it's not a normal class setting. It's more like a community where there's different type of people, but everyone gets along with each other and they understand where each other is coming from.
We really use our voices to do the work.
If anything, I think it empowers students like me to make a change in our community, because when we want to change the world, but we have to start at home. And peer resource opens a lot of opportunity for us to make change here in the school and in the community.
Peer Resource is a program that allows youth to pick the topics they want to educate their peers on, and it's all youth-led. It's the youth. Kids get to pick what topic they want to choose, what they want to educate, what's important to them.
I would say Peer Resources is a place where you can go to have fun, take your mind off of things, and release your stress.
We learn how to solve racism, bullying around the community, and especially in our school.
I've grown as a leader through peer resource because they've taught us how to listen. They've taught us how to ask questions, and by that I mean open or closed questions. I can get an answer out of you through yes or no, or I can have you explain your answer.
We focus on the school community, and the class is called Peer Resources, so it's really, the peer leaders in the class really act as a resource for all the other students in the community.
It's almost like students helping students navigate high school and understand issues, and students taking a leadership role.
A lot of folks, when they came into peer resources, they knew that they were just automatically accepted, and that's something that I think that's something that peer resources is able to give, regardless of where it's at. I mean, just that sense of safety and just acceptance, like you are who you are, and that's amazing.
In high school, as a student of peer resources, one of the things that affected me a lot was being part of a support group that I didn't really realize why I was in there, but I knew it was fun.
The program is about emphasizing the student voice at the school. I can give you a lot of examples, but the main, most outstanding participation of peer resources has been in our peer mediation program, in which students help other students resolve issues.
I'm a better mediator than an adult because I know what happens in the school. I see it head on. I know that if there's a fight, I heard about it. If there was a fight, I seen it. It was recorded. I know what the drama is. I know how to connect with young people.
You can relate more to that person on an emotional level, and we're kind of going through the same sort of period in time,
People have been having a lot of conflicts where she said this and they said that, but with the help of peer resources and conflict mediation, we've been trying to get them to an understanding, and we actually haven't had, that group of girls hasn't had a fight.
Keep your composure, never let your anger, get to that level where you're gonna regret what you just did, just keep it collected, keep it calm.
They hear us talking to them. I think it makes them feel a little bit better instead of a teacher, someone who's a superior talking to them. Even another peer can speak with a lot of authority, and they can be a little bit mean, and it'll feel a lot different. So I think it's in the way we say it that it feels more personal. It feels like we're just sitting down and talking to a friend. So it makes it a lot easier to calm down and think things through.
I'm what you consider an at-risk youth. So, I mean, it really you know, prepped me for the real world, you know, like being accountable, being responsible, and being able to talk to people from different backgrounds than me. I used to be like in this bubble and like I only hung out with these types of people. They look like me, but I can approach someone that doesn't look like me and it will be just as well a good conversation.
You know, I was struggling through elementary school and middle school, but as I matured, I really just changed for the better. I think as you experience more stuff, whether it's good or bad, you change as a person. You know, you start to handle these things more, you talk better, you do things out of your comfort zone. And I feel like that's how I bettered myself.
I come from like a really difficult neighborhood. I didn't have an easy time growing up, so I can really connect to the other folks that did grow up as I did, that didn't have the resources I did in school. And you gotta touch the kids in ways that other teachers won't do or won't even like attempt to. So you really gotta put yourself in their position.
Peer resources is not just any other class. It's not just a place where you sit here and you don't do any work or anything. You actually learn things like not just schoolwork, but for life lessons.
It just makes your environment better, knowing that you don't have to look over your shoulder, you don't have to really be on your toes, just because you know the person next to you knows exactly what you know. And just in case if I do step on an issue or do say something offensive, we know how to talk it out and we know how to, you know, really hash out all those problems.
I think people need someone to look up to and someone to guide them and to ask them how they're doing, just someone to mentor.
The needs of high school students are so incredibly diverse, not only academic, but social and all aspects of physical and mental health. And Peer Resources sort of addresses all of those needs.
Sometimes when people are depressed, they may feel alone, and that's how I felt. But in Peer Resources, there are people who actually care. Like, we create bonds with people and we create new friendships with people who we would not even expect to be talking to at all.
I feel like it's my duty as a student that if I'm gonna be part of this community, I have to be some sort of tool to aid it.
I've learned to work in a team where we have conflicting ideas, and it's really interesting because sometimes we get really frustrated. We just have to take a step out of the room, but we always come through. It's been interesting to see how we go from really not liking each other, not working together, into a really functioning team.
Through Peer Resources, I definitely took a turn for the better in my life. It was a definite transitional point where I was still involved in some negative things, but you know, that people in school weren't always necessarily aware of, but Peer Resources helped change my mentality and helped me see that I was a leader and that I could do more than what I was, and I didn't have to be just a negative influence, I could be a positive one.
I've been on both sides of the table. The student that's struggling and needs help, and the student that's helping other people. And now as a teacher, I get to watch students do the same thing and support both students at the same time.
Seeing kids like just do what they never imagined they could do is really incredible. And like just watching them start in a certain space, and then by the time they're leaving or the time that I have to say bye in some way, they've just like grown. And watching that happen over and over again never gets tiring, ever.